Hey, it's Pete, North Las Vegas. Hey, I thought I'd do a kind of a quick video. At least I hope it turns out to be quick. On FN FAL rear sights, the three different styles of ramp sights that I have. And that'll be these here. So I'll be talking about these. Also, the rest of the video I'm going to shoot on this new GoPro Hero8 that my wife got me for Christmas. So I'm going to see if there's any difference in video quality between the camera I'm using right now and the new GoPro. I got a feeling by the time YouTube gets done with me, there's not going to be much difference. Anyway, the rest of the video will be using the Hero. Okay, so these are the three styles that I have. This one here has a smooth bottom with no notches cut in it. This one here has notches for the S-spring, and that's one that shows the spring installed. The one that does not use a spring, these screws, the bottom of the head is flat and smooth. So that would be right there. Now the one that uses a spring, there's serrations, notches, cuts, whatever you want to call them. And those serrations butt up against the tip of the spring to keep the screws from backing out. Now, this one here has a notch cut in the end of the screw. Now, I think the reason they did that was that they splayed the very end of this screw to apply tension into the rifle receiver so that the screw wouldn't come back out. And that's where the screws go right there to hold the sight in. So these screws also allow you to adjust drift. So there's a screw on this side and there's a screw on this side. Loosen one, tighten the other, and that's how you drift the rear sight over for windage. Okay, so besides the fact that this is smooth bottom and doesn't use a spring, and that one uses a spring, and that one uses a spring, this particular sight came off an Embl D-mill out of Brazil, Embl. And you can see that the ramp numbering is recessed, and I painted them white so you can see them better. And this one came from DSArms, and I haven't painted the numbers. This one, I'm not sure where I got it, but if you look at the top, it's been machined down, and the range numbers actually stick up. They're not flat or not indented. Okay, so another thing is, if you look at the sight post thickness on this one and compare it against the sight post thickness on this one, it's a pretty good difference. So anyway, when I had this rifle out, in order to get the windage adjusted, I had to adjust this drift all the way to the left. And that took the sight base and moved it all the way out here, and it ended up looking kind of goofy. So what I did was I bought this from DSArms, and it's an AR style. So not only can you drift the base with the adjustment screws, but you can also turn the windage knob and adjust the peep sights. So that gives me two places to adjust windage using the DSArms aftermarket sight. So that allowed me to get the windage I needed and not have the rifle look kind of goofy with everything drifted over to one side. And this here is a post that once you put the sight together, it goes in here and keeps you from sliding the ramp all the way off. So I think I covered everything on the rear sights that I have and the differences. Part of the reason this windage was way off on this rifle before I replaced it with the DSArms sight was these peepholes were not drilled into the center. I don't know if the camera's picking this one up, but you can see that peephole is off to the right quite a bit. And this one almost centered. It's still off to the right a little bit. And this one is the best. That peephole is pretty much in the center. So anyway, this was the one I had on the rifle, and that was part of the windage problem, was the peephole just wasn't in the right place. This is my 18-inch carbine. That's a DSArms buttstock. It's kind of skeletonized. And that thing really slaps your cheek. So I ended up putting this pad on there. Last time I fired this rifle, I actually got a little bit of a bruise on my cheek. And the stock design buttstock, I never had that problem with this rifle. Didn't matter where I put my cheek on this thing. It never slapped me and never bothered me. So anyway, I apologize for the shaky video. Kind of getting used to this camera. So anyway, we'll go load it on the computer and see how it does. Okay, this is a follow-up video using my old camera. Apologize for some of the close-ups not being in focus. Like I said, I was trying to get used to my new camera and figure out the correct range. And anyway, I didn't want to have to redo the whole video, and I think it's good enough to where, you know, you guys can see what's going on. What I did forget to mention one thing. On the D mill from Brazil, the mil spec sight that does not have the spring notches, this screw is a little bit shorter than what DSArms provided with their sight, with the serrated head and non-slot. So if you look at the screws that the DSArms provides, they're just a little bit longer, not much. But anyway, next video I do, it'll be all on the GoPro, and hopefully I'll do a little better job keeping things in focus. Later, Pete, North Las Vegas.